Once upon a time in a quaint little village, there lived a kind-hearted baker named Mr. Thomas. He was known throughout the village for his delicious pastries and bread, but it was his warm smile and generous spirit that truly endeared him to the townspeople. One sunny morning, as Mr. Thomas was busy kneading dough in his bakery, he heard a soft knock on the door. He opened it to find a small, wide-eyed boy named Daniel standing there. Daniel's clothes were tattered, and his face bore a look of hunger and desperation. "Good morning, young lad. What brings you to my bakery?" Mr. Thomas asked, his voice filled with warmth and compassion. With a shy voice, Daniel replied, "Sir, I don't have any money, but I'm so hungry. Could you spare a piece of bread, please?" Mr. Thomas couldn't bear to see a child go hungry. He smiled kindly at Daniel and said, "Of course, my boy. No one should go hungry in this village. Wait right here." He disappeared into the bakery and returned with a fresh loaf of bread. Mr. Thomas handed it to Daniel, who gratefully accepted it. The young boy's eyes lit up with joy as he held the bread close to his chest. "You're very kind, sir, thank you," Daniel said with gratitude. Mr. Thomas patted Daniel's head gently and replied, "It's my pleasure, young one. Remember, kindness is the greatest ingredient we can add to the world. Now, run along and take care." Months passed, and the village was swept by a terrible storm. The winds howled and rain poured relentlessly, causing the rivers to overflow and roads to become treacherous. Amidst the chaos, Mr. Thomas found himself unable to leave his bakery to purchase supplies from the nearby town. With his shelves empty and his heart heavy, Mr. Thomas pondered how he could feed the hungry villagers. Just then, he heard a knock on the door. When he opened it, he saw Daniel, now a little taller and with a determined expression on his face. "Good day, Mr. Thomas. I heard about the storm and how you're unable to get supplies. I may be young, but I've learned that kindness is not only about receiving but also about giving," Daniel said earnestly. Mr. Thomas was touched by Daniel's words and the moral values he had learned. A smile crept across his face as he said, "My dear boy, you truly have a wise soul. I would be grateful for any help you can provide." For the next few days, Daniel worked tirelessly alongside Mr. Thomas. Together, they baked bread and pastries using the limited ingredients they had left in the bakery. Daniel even went from house to house, informing the villagers about the situation and asking them to contribute any ingredients they could spare. The villagers were inspired by Daniel's selflessness and were more than willing to help. Soon, the bakery was bustling with activity, as villagers poured in with sacks of flour, fresh eggs, and other ingredients. They wanted to ensure that no one went hungry during the storm. Thanks to Daniel's unwavering determination and the villagers' generosity, Mr. Thomas's bakery continued to provide bread and pastries for the village, even during the challenging times. The storm eventually passed, but the bond between Mr. Thomas, Daniel, and the villagers grew stronger than ever. In the end, it was not just the delicious treats that made Mr. Thomas famous in the village. It was the enduring lesson he and Daniel taught them all, that true kindness knows no boundaries and that everyone has the power to make a difference, no matter their age. If you liked the story, don't forget to like and share and subscribe to our channel for more stories.